raise your hand if you want to give people with disabilities the same opportunities as everyone else. Raise your hand if you want to give people with mental health needs the confidence to achieve. Now, you've all raised your hands there, and that shows just how much you care as people. But I'm not here to guilt you into giving me any money. I'm not here to ask you for your pocket money. What I'm here to do tonight is to think about how we, as a society, care. Now, we're very lucky as a society. We have a social care system that cares for our most vulnerable people. But this system is under threat and undervalued. An hour's worth of social care is valued at approximately £15 an hour. That's a figure set by local councils based on government budgets. £15 an hour, sound all right? Well, this £15 has to pay for office costs, admin costs, staffing costs, insurance, housing, staff training, safety equipment, and it doesn't leave a whole lot for staff pockets. Most support workers are only paid minimum wage. That's all providers can afford to pay them. And support work is a difficult job. You could spend your day supporting someone to shower, administering controlled medication, and keeping someone safe from abuse. Doing all that in minimum wage makes support workers feel demotivated, devalued, and stressed. Now, I could stand here and argue for increased social care funding for days, but what can we do here tonight to show how much we care? I want to tell you a story about Sophie. Sophie has complex needs and couldn't stand anyone to touch her hair, let alone wash it or cut it. Sophie's hair was always dirty, matted, and bedraggled. But rather than leave her in this state, Sophie's support workers made a hair washing schedule with her to enable her to become more mentally prepared for washing her hair. When Sophie became more comfortable with this, she started choosing which days she wanted her hair washed and speaking to staff. Eventually, Sophie's support workers contacted the local hairdressers, who agreed to open an hour early so that Sophie could go in a relaxed atmosphere and have her hair washed. Sophie became more comfortable with this and eventually went for a trim. And now, thanks to Sophie's determination, her support from her workers and the kindness of the local hairdressers, Sophie books her own appointments, she pays by herself, and she goes for an appointment with everyone else, with all the other customers. And it's with the support of the hairdressers that Sophie has achieved this incredible independence and that her staff feel motivated, fulfilled, and valued. And that's amazing. Research shows that by connecting vulnerable people with their communities, we can reduce paid support costs, we can reduce how long someone needs support for, we can reduce the strain on the social care system, and we can increase resources for staff, leading to more motivated staff, happier staff. So what can you do? Well, if you run a community group or an activity, think about how you can make your activity accessible to people with additional needs, like Sophie's hairdresser did. Think about holding it in a wheelchair-accessible venue. Think about offering reduced tickets for carers. Even think about just writing one line on your website that says you're happy to discuss any additional needs someone may have. That can make a real difference. And we are all part of a community here. So if you have a few hours a week, maybe volunteer, take someone to the theatre, take them to the football, or even just sit down and have a cup of tea and a chat. Doing these simple things shows how much we as a society care. It reduces the strain on the social care system, it motivates people and staff. It provides opportunities and achievements for everyone. Just doing these simple things shows how much you care. Thank you.